So if you think traveling to the United States couldn't get any worse, I want you to watch this clip.
Don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular, our airports be free and safe again. I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before. Not sure what that means.
Yep, you heard that right. Because of the issues with the government shutdown and TSA agents not showing up, the orange guy is thinking about replacing TSA with ICE agents. You know, these guys. I've had Canadians email me telling me that they're still going to the United States, and they've had no problems with CBP, and everything was all fine and dandy. But they also told me too that during their time in the United States, they never once encountered ICE. Well, if the orange guy gets his way, on your way out of the United States, you're going to be searched by ICE. I mean, that's just weird to me. I mean, when you're going through the security check, and the person talking to you is going to be masked up, you have no idea who this guy is. And one wrong thing you say could get you into detainment. You know these guys are going to love doing their job. But let's jump into a quick report from ABC on this topic. I actually don't have much time for this video, so let's get into it.
And I want to turn now to breaking news. As flyers across the country, they're continuing to face travel headaches as the partial government shutdown enters day 36. The president now saying he plans to deploy ICE agents on Monday to airports as Congress has yet to approve funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer slamming GOP lawmakers for not coming to an agreement to support efforts to fund the TSA.
It is unacceptable for workers and travelers in entire airports to get taken hostage in political games. But that's what the Republicans are doing. It is unacceptable to say we will only pay TSA workers if it is attached to a bill that funds ICE with no reforms. But that's what the Republicans have been doing. Democrats want to pay TSA workers ASAP with no strings attached.
Now, I think everybody else in the world is kind of done with all of this talking. I mean, he's talking on the Senate floor. He's saying some valid things, but there's going to be absolutely nothing that comes out of it. I'm going to guess that Chuck's next move is going to be a strongly worded letter. But think of it this way. If the orange guy is already planning to have the ICE agents move in on Monday, there's absolutely no plans to end this government shutdown. And you know what a lot of people are probably thinking right now that, they thought they would never ever say? I miss the friendly TSA agents.
Now, all of this is happening as TSA workers go another week without their paychecks. ABC's Christian Cordero's in Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport with the latest. Christian, what else is the president saying here?
So, Ike, the president is demanding that Democrats immediately come to an agreement. It's unclear what the nuances of the negotiations are because everyone's staying very tight-lipped about what these conversations are like happening behind closed doors between a bipartisan group of senators and border czar Tom Homan. But the president stepping in today and essentially saying, look, if Democrats don't agree to what is on the table right now, that he is going to deploy ICE agents and that deployment will, and those operations will include immigration enforcement. So
now here's what I want to focus on. She just said it's going to include immigration enforcement. TSA agents didn't have the right to do that before. All they did was search to make sure that you don't have any weapons or anything. But what the ICE agents have been doing now is they've been running around towns in the United States searching for people. And I would assume that it does take them a little bit of time to do some research to find out and locate some of these people that they're looking for. But if they're going to be watching the lines or security lines at the airport, all they got to do is stand there. It's like shooting a fish in the bucket. I mean, if they don't like your skin color or you have an accent that they don't know, all they have to do is say, hey, you, come with me. And if you're having trouble trying to picture what this might look like, take a look at this photo that I made with my awesome design skills. Because if the orange guy has his way, this is what you're going to be greeted with when you go through security.
Really upping the rhetoric from what we've heard in the past several days as the situation does get more dire, not just because of the TSA workers who are desperately needing their next paycheck, but also because this is intersecting with spring break travel throughout much of the country.
Yeah, that's right. And how difficult is this getting for those TSA workers, especially those with families who they have to take care of as they continue going without pay, rather?
If you walk through an airport, you really get a sense of what they're going through, a really small sliver of it, and also of how people are empathizing with them. I mean, people were in line at Houston's Bush Intercontinental Airport earlier this week. We were talking with them. They were in line for hours and still felt like they didn't really have a right to complain, the vast majority of them, by the time they got to the front of it. So there's no doubt that there's desperation going around. We've spoken with some TSA officers who say that they've they've gone through their life savings just to try to get through this period.
Their life savings. Just so worrisome to think about that. Christian, thank you.
You know, I do feel for the TSA agents that didn't vote for this. They're just trying to do their job. But you can bet that there are going to be some TSA agents that did vote for the orange guy. And for those TSA agents that ticked the box beside the orange guy's name, hey, you got what you deserved. And unfortunately, your vote screwed it up for the rest of your colleagues as well. Now, thankfully, if you're subscribed to my channel, you're probably not going to be going through the United States anytime soon. So we don't have to deal with the TSA agents being replaced by ICE. But we do have a lot of viewers that still go to the United States for family reasons or work. And if you're flying out of Canada to the United States, you're going to have the pre-clearance on the Canadian side, so this won't affect you going to the United States. But when it comes time to return, that's where you're going to have issues. So how much longer can this whole government shutdown and this whole mess with TSA last for? Let me play this next report for you.
Now to those seemingly never-ending TSA lines. It's bringing travelers to a screeching halt at airports all across the U.S. as spring break travel ramps up.
TSA officers have gone over a month now without any pay. Take you outside for a live look at LAX, which has, thankfully, largely been spared from these hour-long waiting times. But it's a much different story at other major airports where wait times can get as long as 2 hours.
Yeah, the chaos now prompting drastic measures. President Trump threatening to deploy ICE agents to airports if an agreement to fund the Department of Homeland Security is not reached. If not, well, federal officials warn things could get worse.
This is going to look like child's play, what's happening right now. You're going to see small airports, I believe, shut down. You're going to see extensive lines, and air travel is going to almost come to a grid halt, stop.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy outlining the harsh reality for airports and travelers if TSA funding is not enacted quickly by Congress. Duffy describing long wait times and lines stretching outside of airport doors as child's play compared to what's to come.
You know, this entire mess is really not helping the United States tourism industry. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually sitting back laughing at all these tourism officials saying, hey, Canadians, come back. We want you back. We miss you, blah, blah, blah. Well, do you think anybody is going to really want to come back to support your industry when we have to go through this kind of bullshit just to get to your country? I don't think so.
President Donald Trump today addressing the issue, posting, "This is a job for ICE," and saying, quote, "I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before." And adding to that, quote, "I look forward to moving ICE in on Monday and have already told them to get ready. No more waiting, no more games." Today marks 36 days of no pay for the nation's roughly 50,000 TSA agents, and in that time, nearly 400 of them have reportedly quit. The shutdown having a significant impact on airports nationwide, from Houston to Chicago to New York. Travelers at Newark International Airport today feeling the security agents' pain, but hopeful that this funding stalemate is close to over.
Would you go to work if you weren't getting paid?
I work in healthcare, I probably would, because I think it's the right thing to do, but I think those in power that make those decisions should step up and get this fixed. We all got to get where we want to get, and we all have certain schedules we need to follow, so hopefully they can resolve it soon.
So what will that resolution look like? ICE agents at the nation's airports on Monday, as President Trump suggests? Or can Elon Musk's plan work? The Tesla CEO offering today to cover the TSA payroll during the funding stalemate that he says, quote, is negatively affecting the lives of so many Americans at airports throughout the country. The Senate voted today on a measure to fund TSA workers. It did not pass. Democrats pushed the plan, but Republicans say they want to fund the entire Department of Homeland Security, not just TSA, as those negotiations continue.
So I really want to ask any Canadians or international viewers that are still planning to go to the United States, do you really want to deal with this? Is Disneyland that much more important? Or do you really need to go to the casinos in Las Vegas? Because to all of those Canadians who still email me saying, hey, I had no problems going to the United States, everything's fine, and I never had to deal with ICE once. Well, if this pulls through, you're going to have to deal with ICE on the way out of the United States back to Canada. And that is a factor that I wouldn't want to deal with. But my message just doesn't apply to like Canadians and international viewers trying to get into the US. It also applies to people that are already in the United States. I mean, you could be a US citizen, or you could be on a green card, or any other sort of legal pass or visa that allows you to be there. But if the ICE agent doesn't like you, and they don't like your skin color, or they don't like your accent, or hell, maybe they need 3 more people to meet their bonus quota or whatever it is, you're at risk, because if you want to get on that plane, you're going to have to go through them. I'm actually more worried for our US viewers, because if you're traveling domestically, you're going to have to go through them anyways. And this is something that the United States citizens didn't have to worry about before, but now they might have to after Monday. And we already know that ICE has been arresting US citizens, like actual citizens, not like immigrants or anyone that's not legally supposed to be there. So we're going to have to see what happens on Monday. I mean, who knows? Maybe the orange guy is tacoing on it, but regardless, it's a situation that I would not want to be anywhere near. But if you do have to go to the US and you do have to go through a security line, just keep in mind that it's not just security checks anymore. It'll be immigration checks as well. Okay, that's all I got for this video, and I actually have to head out pretty soon. If you found any value or agree with anything I said in this video, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bias, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to watch more of my videos, just wait for the ones to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.